It's Renee here from Canner Lane Design, and I have a question from the Facebook page that was from a dear friend of mine who has also hit me up for some design advice, and she wants to know how to include a office space in her dining room. I know that this particular person also has two rambunctious young boys to deal with who will be in school soon if they're not already started school. I think the youngest one hasn't started yet, but the older one, I believe, has started school. So anyways, I wanted to just go over a couple of design solutions to tackle this problem. First, we're going to go over a more budget-friendly design solution and then a little bit more customized design solution, which both work really well, just depending on your needs and what you would like to do as far as getting that office space in your dining room. The first one here that you can see on the screen is a standard dining room, typical smaller size dining room, 12 feet by about, or 11 feet by about 12 feet. This is the size that I chose to work with based on everybody else out there who probably has this around this size to deal with. Of course, people might have bigger ones, which in that case is even better, but I wanted to tackle the most difficult floor plan first as we move through this design solution. So anyhow, what I did is I took a standard size dining table as well, 6-person dining table, which is decent standard size for a family with 2 children, and wanted to create that office space at the far end of the dining area. Typically, a dining space will have 2 open sides, one entrance from the kitchen area, one entrance from another adjoining living space. So I just set it up as a very generic floor plan, but we can always modify that later. And what I did is I took stock size 7 foot tall by 3 foot by about 12 to 14 inch deep bookcases, and I placed those at either end here, as you can see, of the short wall in the dining room, and between the two there is wall mounted, basically a countertop is what it is, and you can have that created out of a remnant of solid surface like Corian. You could also have that created by a basic countertop, kitchen and bath countertop type of person can just, you give them the size and they can create that for you. So what we also added here was a below counter mount slide out keyboard station, and that is to conserve space, as the depth of this is the very important dimension. We do not want something that intrudes into the dining room space too much, otherwise you would not be able to fit your dining table, and you would have to deal with a dining table that had a leaf, or you would have to deal with a dining table that was much smaller, which in this case wouldn't work for the family at hand. So anyhow, we've got our standard size flat screen computer monitor here on top of the work surface, as well as the keyboard here. Now, this solution is great, but there is not a ton of space to lay out papers, work on homework, things like that for the kiddos. So you could just use one of these cabinets / bookcases. I used 2 just because I wanted more storage space to be shown here. You could also have a additional writing space by opening up these cabinet doors and creating an area where the shelf here would also serve as a separate writing space. So this was solution number 1. In order to make it appear a little bit more dining room stylish, I mounted the wine rack above the computer station here, and as you can see from this view, it still adds a little bit of an elegant touch, making it not seem so office-like, which is also helped by the cupboard doors here. So that is solution number 1, and once this little area is put away and the dining chairs back to the dining table, it looks like this. So again, we haven't hidden everything from the office area, but it is a more budget-friendly solution and one which is somewhat easily executed. You just have to have a handyman or some handy skill knowledge yourself in order to do this properly. And don't forget, you will also want to affix your bookcases to the wall so that they don't come crashing down. Just a little side note there, you don't want anything to come tumbling down. Moving on to solution number 2. Let's go over here. This is a little bit more of a custom solution. Again, not really that bad as far as budget goes, but you will have to put some elbow grease into this. And what this is your standard 6-place dining table. Again, the same size dining room, 11 foot by 12 foot. And we've got a basic sofa table here that has been converted into a desk station by adding a custom hutch to the top that has a 3-panel sliding door system where you have mounted sliding door track to the ceiling, very lightweight track because you will have lightweight doors here. And what it does is it hides your office area, creating an elegant look that still lends itself to being completely dining room and hiding the office space behind the 3-panel hutch. So this is what it looks like when it's all closed up. And we've got that nice little look here. And then when you go into opening those sliding doors, this is what it would look like. You've got your wall space behind the 3-panel sliding doors, which lends itself to being a great spot for bulletin boards, cork boards, memos, dry erase boards, things like that. And because of the shallow depth of the shelving that you could also put inside here, you would want to be using some little bookends and face your books with the book covers forward. So that way it's kind of like when you see a retail display shelf, those shelves are typically more narrow, which also conserves space in this instance, but you would want to definitely use some kind of a lip on the end of your shelf or little bookends in order to keep your books from falling down. Again, you've got your countertop space, workspace surface here, which is essentially the top of the sofa table, and that is where you would put your monitor or monitors if you wanted to here. And then you do have a drawer which pulls out, the front face of the drawer flips down with a piano hinge type system, and you have your keyboard stored here, your mouse, anything else that you wanted to put here. And this is also a nice design because the 2 stools here, or if you just wanted to use chairs from the dining table, that's fine too. But 2 here with the extra writing space serve to have a parent sitting with a child helping with homework, or a couple of kids together helping each other, or playing computer games, things like that. So again, those panels just slide just like barn doors basically. They slide right and left up against the wall there, and if there was a wall here, it would also slide against the side. The size of your sofa table and 3-panel sliding doors is all dependent on how much space you have on either side of your fixtures to slide open those doors, creating the fully open space here. And once again, when you have that all hidden, it just looks like a beautiful china hutch or furniture display in your dining room. Again, you've still got plenty of space for your dining room table and chairs, even when they're all scooted out. And these solutions are great for adding an office space to your dining room.